All right. Wow. That was a synchronistic, crazy thing. So light side and dark side. These are two very powerful forces of our reality. And I'm not someone who shies away from dark energy or from our shadow. Adam wrote a comment about this earlier about really integrating our shadow. And I think that this is an important topic for all of us in terms of the subconscious substrate that we all possess. It's all inside of our mind and our consciousness that we're here to integrate and really land into our lives. So what I'm very interested in is the underlying philosophy and principle behind this work, because I think that it's valid and really helps us understand our awareness. So from the research and the information that I've both attained and I've channeled and I've worked with, I've come to understand that there's two forces really in this universe. One that I would call the creator program or the source program, and not to be scary or anything, but the Luciferian program. And if you've read The Flower of Life or you've done some of that research, it was a very simple geometry difference that Drunvalo talked about that determines these two energies. And one was like the flower of life from the creator source principle was a circle in which the flower of life could infinitely spiral inwards on itself and thus expand. And so it was completely contained. And as these circles were expanding and the cells were dividing, like cell division, more energy was created, and it was infinitely expanding into, creation itself. And then there was this alternative geometry where one complete circle then divides and starts dividing itself more and more and more as that flower of life pattern is created. So it's really interesting to see that model of like, here's two geometries. They're almost completely identical, except the way that they duplicate themselves. One uses all the energy that's contained within it to expand upon itself. The other takes energy from each quadrant and continues to expand itself until there's no more room to do so. So I firmly believe that the Luciferian energy, this kind of dark force that we've come to understand and know, is simply this force in the universe that takes energy that's connected to source and tries to remove it from source, to deplete it, to exhaust it, to feed off of it, until it no longer has any energy and it's consumed by this force. So I know someone talked about energy vampires earlier. It's kind of a similar notion, right? So these forces at play in our reality, I think that our planet and our collective story is one that we for a while have been operating in a Luciferian paradigm, where we take the resources of the planet and we keep depleting them until we hit exhaustion. And then we feed off of each other and we deplete each other's energy until exhaustion. And then we either move on or we exhaust ourselves. It's a very destructive, unsustainable model. And it's meant to do that. It's meant to force things into evolution. So I think it has a purpose. I don't even think it's inherently negative. I think it has a purpose and it has a function. And what it does is it creates separation from source, from the creator, in order to then pull on that energy to feed its own agenda until one can find its way back to the infinite energy that originally created it. Because the irony of this situation is that I believe the Luciferian program, the way that those circles are pulling other circles off and depleting them and exhausting them, is actually happening under the larger umbrella of source and creation. So I know this is kind of meta. I know it's kind of a big concept, but why is this important? Well, it's important because I believe our work as Jedi is to live a life where we are fully in remembrance of our ability to source our own creator energy in any moment, all the time. And most of the evolutions in consciousness that we are tracking, and what this community of Portal to Ascension and what all of you guys, I really feel like are living, is your own journey of letting go of the Luciferian paradigm and stepping into the creator source paradigm in full.